What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm super excited to announce and start my first ever large-scale mock series, and we are going to be building the Battle of Ryloth. Now, this was one of my favorite arcs from the Clone Wars, so I'm super excited to get into this. Now, I'm assuming this is going to take me about a month, meaning there's going to be 4 episodes. Depending on how long this actually takes, it might go a little longer, might go a little shorter, depending on how everything goes. And I'm not sure exactly of the scale, but we'll get to all of the logistics to it a little bit later. But I'm super excited to get started for this mock. But so without further ado, let's get to building. Now, before I can start building this mock, I have to sit down and watch some Clone Wars for research purposes, for sure. Then I grabbed every single base plate out of my collection and got them set up. Now it's time for our first haul of this mock series. It is time for our first haul of this entire mock series, one of many to come. Unfortunately, I underestimated how expensive parts were, so I spent a kind of a stupid amount of money on these, but luckily it's stuff that's going to be able to be reused in mocks to come. We have this whole bag of 2x2 tan tiles, or dark tan right there. We also have some olive green and more tan pieces in here. We have a bunch of these little 2x2s right here, and then 2x2 tiles as well. Then there's a bunch of these nougats as well. They're 1x4s, and then also the 1x2s as well. There's all this stuff that I was gonna need. There's a lot of olive green kind of foliage in here as well, just because that's what you see on Ryloth, so I picked up a good amount of that. And I also got a ton of different slopes to use because I want to build up the mountain on the backside. Unfortunately, there were no inverted slopes at this person's Bricklink store, so I'm gonna have to buy those in a future one to come, but I don't think that I'm gonna be building the mountain anytime soon. That's going to be something for a later episode. For today's episode, I kind of just want to start getting stuff down and planning out this mock. Now, I guess we'll talk about that after I finish going through. We have a bunch more little cheese slopes right here, a bunch of 2x4 plates right here. More of this little foliage pieces as well. I do really like these, but these were kind of expensive. Next, some 1x1s just for more detailing, and then more slopes. A lot more slopes to have for this. Definitely something that's going to be needed. And then 2x2s and those little L pieces. And then lastly, we have some little small bricks and tiles right here. That does it for our first haul. We bought a lot of pieces, but like I said, they're going to be able to be used in new mocks after this one as well. That's what I'm going to try and do. So I'm not really spending a lot of money on one mock that I'm not going to be able to reuse later on. And that's what I suggest you guys do as well if you're buying parts for mocks. Now, I think a big issue that we have right now is I only have these base plates, and this is a lot smaller than I wanted to go for this mock. But for now, I think this is how I'm going to start off getting it done. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, and we're going to have a lot more time in the future weeks to add on more base plates and make this bigger. But for now, I think this is the size that I'm going to work with, and now it's time to start building. First order of business was going to be to build up the foundation for this base. I built it up 1 brick high. It just makes the mock feel a bit more better and more filled out. Then I started by putting in all of the filler brick. After hours and hours of filler brick work, I finally got this all filled up and ready to plate. I was not expecting the filler brick work to take this long and be this hard, but it is done. I know it's not that pretty of a sight to see, but luckily this will all be covered up. So I'm gonna have to go scrounge up all of the plates that I have in my collection and hopefully be able to cover this all up with plates. It's not pretty, but after an hour of work, I've finally tiled off this entire thing, and we can actually start building this mock. I know it looks like a unicorn threw up all over this, but luckily it's going to be covered up by all of the nice building later on. Now we can actually get onto that building. This was not fun to plate this off, but hopefully we've put all of the hard work behind and we can get into some of the fun stuff, and we can finally start building this mock. I went into starting off this terrain without any clear plan in my head, which may have not been the smartest thing to do, but after starting the build, I came up with the plan that I was going to follow throughout this mock series. I think for the terrain, what I decided to do was to make different rings and lines in that medium nougat, and then filling in the in-between with all of my different dark tan, as the dark tan is what I have the most of, and the nougat is what I have the least of, so I think it would make a good highlight color for this mock. Then I started to work on the rock structure. I see many rock structures in the show on Ryloth, so I tried to mimic that here with one, and I worked on a few others later. After I finished that, I went to finishing off tiling the side of this build. Now, I think there's a long way to go with this, and I'm definitely gonna need to order some more parts for this mock. Okay, I've got this small area done on the corner. I was just messing around getting the overall feel for how I was gonna go about this, and I'm kind of really liking how it turned out. I decided to make small strips in that nougat and then filling everything else up with the tan, with the small accents of the olive green where the grass would be off in the background before it moves to the more sandy terrain. Trying to work in some different different like pillars and stuff like that, because when you see it, there's a lot of like different rock formations here, which is also going to be helpful to have my clones hide behind. If I can get one out of this bag, for some reason this bag is like stuck. There we go. So you can have the clones are going to be able to, you know, take cover behind there. I'm going to build them a little bit better. This was just kind of an in the moments design that I threw together. I'm going to try and make them a little bit bigger and better later on. But coming over here, I don't know how I'm going to get more detail onto the flooring here. I tried to have this really raised up a little bit, and I'll work on that definitely a little bit later down the road. But one thing that building this small area has definitely shown me is that I did not get enough parts to build this MOC. So I'm probably going to need a few more orders, which I did expect to make. So I'll probably get on those later tonight, but I think I'm done. Took so long to get the base built up that it is late into the night. It is currently 1:30 a.m. So I'm going to get to sleep, but tomorrow I have a package coming that I'm very excited for. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow to show off what I've got. Okay, instead of going to sleep, I decided to build a little bit more, which probably wouldn't have been the best idea, but I did decide what I wanted to do for the mountain. I changed my design to this. Originally, I was going to do brick built, kind of like how you see these little pillar things that I've got building, but I don't think that's going to look as good as if I do it like this, because here I can get a lot more detail. However, there's one glaring issue being, first, I don't have the pieces to do this, and well, actually three. First is I don't have the pieces. The pieces that I need to use to do this cost a lot of money, and third, I have no way how to no idea how I would make this stand up structurally. Right now it's sitting like this, but if I do the wall, like I want the whole cliff to be spanning the entire way on the back wall. So I don't know. I also want it higher. Honestly, if I were to guess, it'd probably be like this. I wanted to get more of these little 12 by 12s, but there's nowhere to buy them on bulk on Bricklink. The person has the most is like 9 in the Netherlands, and that costs like $60 just for the handling fee. So I won't be doing that. So I have to figure out how I'm going to get this done. So I don't know. I have something to sleep on tonight, definitely. I did do some more work here, but I'm probably going to call it a night for now and then come back tomorrow and get some more work done on this MOC. I am back. It is the next day, and we have our package right here coming from Jonak Toys. We've got what we need to fill out this MOC. We've got some minifigures. We have got two here, well, kind of two. The one minifig that we have right here is Master Amagundi, the Jedi from the Battle of Ryloth right here. I'll get him out and set up, and then I also have this decal right here for a Captain Keeley. If it focuses, I don't know why it's not focusing. And we also have a blank helmet right here. So I've never done decaling before, so I have no clue what to expect for this. I'm going to go look for a tutorial online and hopefully be able to pull this off. I only have one shot to do this right. I'm probably not going to record just so I can fully focus on the decaling. So wish me luck, and hopefully when you guys see me next, I'll have a nice decaled helmet. Okay, let's just say decaling isn't for me. I'm gonna stick to buying custom figures, so I'm gonna have to go buy a custom Captain Keeley for this. But we do have the Amagundi, or I'm Gonna Die Jedi Master right here, looking really good from Jonak Toys. I don't know why my camera's not focusing all of a sudden. It was a very nice custom. Gonna be using him, and I'm gonna have to look to get a custom Captain Keeley as well, because this one came to an unfortunate fate, meeting his demise. I'm not too good at decaling. Maybe it's something that I could practice, but you know, maybe it's something just better for me to buy the custom. So I'll look to get one. The only thing is, I don't really like Clone Army Customs Phase 1 Clone Troopers. They look a little weird, but I think that's probably the route that I'm going to have to take. But now we have Amagundi. I'm going to do a little bit more building before the end of this episode. I started off by filling up some gaps that were left behind from my previous building. After I did that, I decided that it was time to start building another one of those rocks to help fill up this area. I was kind of running low on my different slopes in the smaller sizes, so this one was going to have to be pretty big. After a bit of trial and error for the building of this on the backside, it kept falling down. It wasn't structurally sound enough, but after I got that, I got to adding some more detail, and I think this one turned out pretty good. Then I finished off some more tiling. I had to stress my tiles pretty far. I'm definitely going to be needing to make a new part order for this soon. Then I started adding another one of those lines in the medium nougat, and then the rest of this came together pretty nicely. Okay, I did the last little bit of terrain work that I was planning on doing, and I'm very happy with how this is turning out. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions of what I should change or what I should do differently. This is the first large scale MOC that I've done, so I'm not really very experienced, so any tips help out quite a bit. I am very happy with how the walls though have turned out. I like the detailing on them, and I think that's probably going to be how I end up doing them. But let me know your thoughts on the walls. And I've got this all set up here. I've got custom clone setup. It's looking pretty good, especially with the custom Amagun D right there. He's a very nice figure. Unfortunately, Captain Keeley was not as easy to decal as I thought he was going to be, so I'm going to have to look to buy a custom one of those for this MOC, because you can't have the Battle of Ryloth without Captain Keeley. I also pulled out this ATTE that I am planning to put on the MOC later, but that is going to do it for this update. I'm sorry that this was such like a small one. It's the first one. I wanted to just get it over and done with and get it started, to get it out there just to let you guys know what I'm up to. So let me know how you guys feel about this MOC. Let me know if you're as excited for this MOC as I am. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew signing out.